Good stuff.
So, it's over to you. You always do the introductions.
I know. Well, no, you did one week where you...
Yeah, well, I got it wrong.
You changed it all up. You did all my bits and all my sections, and so anyway.
We're in a kitchen.
We're not just in a kitchen.
We're in the kitchen.
We're in the kitchen.
Yeah. If someone who's got a sore throat.
Yeah.
Someone's just heard a third voice there. So that makes the 11th episode quite special, I think.
I think it does.
Our very first guest.
It is.
Legend.
Well, I've not even introduced the podcast yet.
I know, but I just want to get a word in because I won't do it later on.
Like you've ever not got a word in.
It's not going to happen.
No.
It's over to you.
Well, hello. Welcome back to Confessions from the Back Seat. Today is a special episode. We have a very special guest with us. He's a singer, artist from the 80s, film star.
Easy.
Reality
Easy
star.
now.
You're making him laugh, aren't you? Do you know when I said it was a comedy podcast?
Yeah, yeah. You weren't kidding, you two, were you?
I've done my research and...
You looked on the internet last night, didn't you?
Film star. Film star. Easy now. Hold on. Let's
Have you been in a film?
A short film. A couple of short films, but to become a film star, I think there has to be a certain amount of success attached to it.
People actually have to watch the film.
Yeah.
You didn't think this was where this was going to start, did you?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we'd just focus on the proper successful bits, the musical bits of my life.
You've not said who it is yet.
It's building up the tension.
Okay, this tension is it?
Yeah. So it's our pleasure to introduce the fabulous Nathan Moore. Nathan, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's interesting, and it should be fun to be here, I think.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's your house, so it's always fun in your house.
Yeah, and you can kick us out whenever you want.
Thanks for having us over, really.
I think this will be a short podcast, people. Yep. From the hub of the house, the kitchen of my home. It's a lovely kitchen, and a lot of things happen here. This is where all the fun happens, and it was fun on Friday night, apparently.
So thank you. That was Kitchens with Nathan Moore, and I'm looking forward to the next podcast.
Okay. I'm going to let you know, Carl's had an energy drink before we started, so I have his eyes are dilated at the moment, so he's raring to go. His face is a touch redder than normal, so we will have to break in between to take his blood pressure just to be on the safe side.
Awesome.
Just to look after you.
No, do you know what it is? I'm actually genuinely excited.
I can see.
Because I am an 80s child, and I was really into my music. So to be...
You're an 80s child?
Well, no, the 80s was my decade. So Redcoat in 86.
Oh, were you Red? Were you?
Yeah. So all the Stock Aitkin and Waterman thing, Sunita and all that, and... Yeah, I bet you know her as well, don't you?
Of course. Yeah.
He knows everyone. We had a chat before. And...
Are we talking Pontins then?
No,
Sorry.
Butlins.
Sorry, because you said in Wales. Yeah, right. Yes.
Yeah, that's we didn't like them.
Yeah.
But no, it was Pathelli in '86.
Wow.
And that's Well, I can't believe you're saying wow. We're going to talk about being a pop star in a minute.
Yeah.
I was a Redcoat for 5 minutes.
Well, it's not there anymore, is it? No, because...
Do you know what? They knocked it down last week.
Did they really?
Yeah, there was a thing on the internet, because there's loads of groups about people who used to work at Butlins.
Right.
And they knocked down the main buildings last week.
What did it turn into then, since it stopped being a Butlins? Was it another campsite?
Like a haven or something.
Right, okay, so it was still in existence?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
How we started talking about this?
I don't know.
Well, you started it. Well, so now there's only 3 Butlins sites. Mine... And I'm at one of them this weekend.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
You turned it round to you again.
Well,
go on.
sorry, I just have a habit of doing that. Yeah, I'm at Butlins Minehead this Saturday.
I've got some competition.
He ain't no competition. Yeah, that's my song too. Yeah, turning it back to me. Yeah, this is a comedy podcast, right?
I've got to say, though, the harder I try...
here we are. This is...
no.
Yeah, anyway.
That shut everybody up.
Yeah, but... okay, so... How many Butlins sites were there? Because there are only 3 now.
There are. You are right. I've mentioned something, and you're a Butlins expert. I think it was like 8 or 9, and then there was the hotels as well.
Yeah.
But all the hotels seem to shut. But they have retro Butlins people now. I've got somebody I work with in '86. She'll find it quite funny because I know she listens to this, so she's going to get a mention. They still go out dressed as redcoats as older people, and people who used to go in the 70s and 80s go on these retro Butlins things. And
oh, brilliant!
No, so it's and I still see pictures of her in a redcoat outfit.
Yeah, fantastic.
And I remember when she was 19.
Oh, well, now when I go to Minehead this weekend, everyone will be dressed up. Saturday night is the night when they put on the outfit. You know, they either go as Richard Gere in Officers and Gentlemen.
Yeah,
that's a quite popular look. It's quite an easy one to attain, and put on. Whereas if you go for the Adam Ant or the Boy George, a lot more work is involved. But yeah, I mean, it's such a great era to borrow from. Say, oh right, who am I going to dress up like now? So Madonna's a really easy one, isn't it? With the bangles and the skirt and the leggings. And day-glow leggings are such an easy thing to acquire these days. So it just lends itself for a real great party night.
And, who do you go as?
Well, I tell them, I'm a tribute to Nathan Moore.
Oh, right, okay.
I said, well, the real one's got no hair and he's 20 stone now, so,
Do you get your chest out?
10 years ago, maybe.
Not anymore?
Not anymore.
Because I've noticed, we did do a little bit of research.
Right.
And you do seem to get your chest out a lot.
I think it was more in the Worlds Apart era.
Oh, was it?
Where we were all, Brother Beyond, a few of them were a bit heavy.
Yeah.
Even at the peak of their success. So it was more in Worlds Apart when we went off to France, and all of us were quite fit and agile and dancing a lot.
Was that a polite way of saying you were working with chubsters?
I need to afford my ex-band mates some respect, please.
I can't believe you just said to me you can't say that.
You can't say that.
Is that not politically correct?
No, even though in the 80s when it was alright to say.
Because there was only magazines and, magazines like Smash Hits, Number One, Just 17 were really important. And especially being a boy band, everyone around you would say, well, what's your look? What's your identity? Because your image was like, that was your identity and how you were gonna get more publicity.
Almost, it was your brand, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was your brand, and you. So yeah, the Bros with the bottle tops, that really worked.
Yeah.
And we had. I had metal steel toe caps showing before Bros, and they kind of nicked it and augmented it a bit. That's fine, And I wore some braces earlier on, and but your image had to be, because if you had a good image, you'd get more, pictures in Smash Hits, and that, when it was selling 1 million copies, and there wasn't the internet, that's how you had to get yourself noticed.
So if we go right back to the beginning,
yeah.
So where did you grow up?
Hertfordshire boy,
yeah.
Really. Grew up with kind of my two sisters.
Into singing,
my older sister Tida was in a band,
right,
called the Palm Tree Club, and I would give her lifts to band practice. And one day they said to me, I was sitting there watching them, and they said, "Oh, why don't you get up and sing?
Okay,
come on, give us a tune, Nathan. Come on." And I got up and jammed with them, and they said, "Oh, you're great. Why don't you and your sister sing together?" And that was it. I was in the band. I couldn't believe it. So that was when I was 17 and my sister Tida was 19. And we went out for about 2 or 3 years doing pubs around Hertfordshire. Mm. And we were quite entertaining. We had a bit of a fan base. We'd hire buses for our fans to come to gigs. And and it was great fun.
We do that for the podcast.
Really?
No.
Right, I didn't.
Don't you? It might happen in the future.
I doubt
it. It'll be a special bus. I don't know about it.
You just said I doubt it. We only know in 5 minutes. He's slagging us off already.
Yeah, no, I'm just being honest.
Yeah. Just what we need, a bit of honesty.
So from that band, from doing the club circuits and things like that, when was your sort of next sort of leap to, I'm going to start my own band, or I'm going to form a band, or get yourself into another
a couple
band?
of people came up to me and said, "Oh, we think you should, we think you can do better than the band you're in. And I was like, well, and he said, look, someone then said to me, I know this guy who's looking for a lead singer, and he's got some songs. I was introduced to him. He was called David, and he said, look, there's these songs, and he played me them. He said, do you want to meet the songwriters? And so he introduced me to Carl Fish, and I really liked the songs, and I was like, well, this is so different from what I'm doing. And then they came to see me. Carl and Simon came to see me, and Simon would become Brother Beyond's manager.
Yeah.
He was a friend of Carl, who would become the keyboard player in Brother Beyond. They came to see me at this pub in Hampstead, and my sister Tita stripped off. She got her boobs out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and was like went out into the audience and shook them in front of people. And I mean, that's the sort of thing she did. She was wild and quite entertaining.
And you relate all your success to this?
Well, put it this way, Brother Beyond nearly had a female singer instead of me.
Okay.
But the first thing they said to me afterwards said, we loved your sister, she's great, but we loved you too. And from then I kind of joined those guys, and eventually I had to say goodbye to the Palm Tree Club. And then we went rehearsing songs in house in Hampstead, and David's brother, David was the guy that introduced me to Carl. He then became part of the band. Then he brought his brother in, Egg White. So it was Egg and David in the band. Then the name Brother Beyond came about, I guess, through that. And we spent about 2 years, doing demos and stuff and looking to get a deal. And it took quite a while. It took about 2 years to get a deal.
So there was an objective to make records as opposed to just go out gigging?
Oh yeah, we wanted to get signed, and because Carl was writing the lyrics, and Egg, really talented, musician, was doing all the music, and so Egg and Carl wrote these songs, and they were good. They were really good. I mean, winding forward 20 years, Egg went on to write songs like "Leave Right Now" for Will Young. So he had talent. He was 16 or 17 at the time. But yeah, he wrote Chasing Pavements with Adele, Warwick Avenue with Duffy. So this guy, at 16 or 17 had talent, but it just wasn't quite there yet. But you could see his potential.
So you made your demos, and then does someone sidle up to you and say, can we sign you, or would you like to come and see us? Or
Oh, we had lots of interest. We had we had the head of A&R at Sony come and sit in the lounge. I can picture him sitting in the chair. I think it was Steve Winwood's brother came and sat in the chair, and we played live in the lounge in this house. Brother Beyond were very talented players. Yeah.
I've been.
What do you mean?
I've been watching them.
Worlds Apart was a band. Typical boy band in the sense of 4 guys dancing. Brother Beyond was keyboard player, guitar, and Egg could play any instrument you asked him.
I'm in on those videos.
Oh, shut up.
It's okay. He started it.
Is this a joke now? Is this the funny part? It's not funny. It's not funny.
He does try.
You're not funny. He's okay. You.
When he said he's all right, he's pointed to me.
It's the relentless.
Yeah, sorry.
Do you know what? They can see this because we're filming it.
Yeah, we're filming it for the first time. Yeah, I should have said.
Do you know what? When I said right at the beginning that I was giddy, I know you're not minding. Well, I feel really bad now. Can we edit that bit out?
No, we don't leave it in.
No,
what I mean, you are.
We were fans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was dance music, wasn't it? It was all.
It was pop. It was, Saturday night, put your handbag in the middle,
I didn't have a handbag, but...
Well, do you know what I mean? You saw a lot of them then.
You did.
I through Pete Waterman, Brother Beyond was asked by Pete to do the pilot for The Hitman and Her.
Oh, right, okay.
You remember that show?
Warrington, wasn't it? It was,
Mr. Smith's.
Yeah,
we did it. I did it 7 times, that show.
You did it?
Was it Zoe Ball as well? Was Zoe Ball on it?
No, it was...
Michaela Strachan.
Right, that was it, yeah.
Oh, you know nothing.
So,
Mr. Bonding now.
Mr. Smith's in Warrington with the spaceship that used to come down. It was like, that was classic. So we did the pilot with Pete. I mean, and that show to me epitomised a Saturday night. You'd get in after you coming back from a club, and you'd switch on the telly, and there was only 4 channels, and that was the only thing to watch. Yeah. And it was great. And because of that, you were focused on that. I reckon they probably had 2 or 3 million people watching at 2, 3, 4 in the morning.
You always watched that drunk though, didn't you? You'd roll in, and then you were watching a nightclub. When you think about it, it's like watching other people watching telly that people do now.
Yeah.
There was another famous person on that, you know.
Well, the Take That Boys, wasn't it?
Yeah. Jason Orange used to dance on it, didn't he?
Yeah. I didn't really meet Jason, but someone who I do still meet from that is Wiggy. Right. Wiggy, the dancer with the mohawk. He's still out there.
Really?
Yeah, I met him at Butlins.
About 94.
I bet he was pushing it then, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's still out there, still doing his moves. Yeah, Wiggy, still there.
So and then all of a sudden, would you say you had overnight success? Was it all of a sudden 1 minute you're in a studio, the next minute you've got girls screaming at you, or? It might
have appeared like that, but it wasn't like that. We had 4 records out, 4 videos, and they all flopped. And we were getting to the point where EMI had spent a lot of money, 40,000 on every video. The album would cost about 200,000. And I thought we were about to be dropped. Then there was this record industry auction, and EMI bid £25,000 to have a record produced by Stock Aitkin and Waterman. I think the story goes that the Bell Stars were originally earmarked to do a record, but then Pete Waterman, we'd met him at his studio, I think during a chat with EMI, he said, look, I've met this band Brother Beyond, why don't we do a record with them? And I think he liked us, and that's how it came about, a stroke of luck. So that 5th single, which was The Harder I Try, written by them, became the hit that it was 30 years ago now.
Massive, wasn't it?
Yeah, and so at that point, probably people said, "Oh, they've came out of nowhere," but so we, to the public, we probably appeared like an overnight success. But yeah, it'd taken 2 years of being signed to EMI for that moment to happen.
And everyone says now, if you become a pop star, you've got to work really, really hard. So was it like that then? It was like, well, right, you've got this hit record. Did you just have to promote it everywhere and be on radio shows and TV shows? And was it just a non-stop thing? Or? Yeah,
you have to go and do loads and loads of press interviews. You have to go tour the country and do every radio station that'll have you. So we were in a car driving from, Magic FM in Preston or, Imagine FM in Rochdale right up to Scotland, So you'd do all that. And then you'd have to go and do the Junior Best Disco for Capital Radio, any TVs, Granada TV, Pebble Mill, anything like that. So I remember doing Pebble Mill with who's that comedian that
when you're the mind reader.
Yes.
Who's that comedian? Jack Dean.
No.
Okay.
Right. So he did a famous thing with. God, I can't even think of the guy who did a famous thing. He did Do You Think I'm Sexy, Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
But he did a big thing with his massive arse, and he was like...
it was Freddie Starr. Was it Freddie Starr?
No, it wasn't Freddie Starr.
He did all the silly dancing.
Yeah, I know, but a massive comedian...
Russ Abbott.
Not Russ Abbott.
Massive.
You lot. I thought you knew your funny stuff. Your comedy.
I've just got comedian Terrets now. I'll just start blurting out anybody I can think of.
This is where Google comes in.
Yeah.
See, normally nobody can see us doing this because we're always on our phones while we're talking. And this is how, if anyone says anything, we've normally got it up quite quickly.
Yeah.
Are you now looking for Rod Stewart with Big Bottom?
Yeah, isn't that amazing? We'll find it. We'll get to that name. Anyway, so whilst you're looking, Andy, so we're doing Pebble Mill.
Yeah.
So one of these promotional things, and we're about to do The Harder I Try, and the record, they press play, obviously in the studio somewhere. But what's happened is this iconic comedian from the 80s,
Kennie Everette.
Kennie Everette, exactly. Kennie Everette starts reading the autocue.
Really?
Which he shouldn't. The host is meant to do it, and he says, "And now we have a fabulous boy band." He starts doing it in Kennie Everette style, but he throws everyone in the studio. And so when he gets in, yet here they have their new single, "The Harder I Try," from the fabulous Brother Beyond. nothing happens. The music doesn't come in the studio because obviously he's confused everybody.
Yeah.
So we're like standing around like that. We're live. This is live, Pebble Mill. And we're thinking, oh my God, we are live on telly and we're just standing there like lemons. And so we're like, and then suddenly about 45 seconds into it, the music comes on. I come to life and start, you know. And but luckily they sort of focused on the drum kit and nothing happened. But
not your dancing.
So we thank Kenny very much for that afterwards. But
45 seconds
and someone who
well.
and you can look this up, and it's one of the most amazing things when you see Owen Paul do his Pebble Mill where a similar thing happened. It's classic.
Is that the one who's outside?
He's outside,
He's leaning on the gate, isn't he, or something?
That's it, yeah. So everyone, look for Owen Paul, Pebble Mill. It's a classic. It's got millions of views, that one. But
it happened.
It happened to us as well.
Yeah.
But so you do all that sort of promotion.
So can I ask you a question about when you're doing that sort of stuff? Because I'm interested in the business and that's the way it works. So when you start out, you've got a lot of pride and you're singing and everything. And I know I made a joke before, but when you go on these programs, you are miming, aren't you? Or are you singing live?
Yeah, no. Most of Top of the Pops and Pebble Mills and things like that, you mime to your record.
Was that frustrating? Was it like something? Could you get into it to be singers and do? And you go probably when you start out, everything you do is live. Then all of a sudden, when you're doing these tours, or is it a matter of you just couldn't do it because you're doing so much?
Yeah, no. It was more the technical side of it.
Is it really?
More they're not really ready to have all the right engineers to make everything sound right.
Yeah.
So it was normally that. For that reason, you didn't do live. It was just easier to get you on, have you miming, and you're there to promote. So it was just something you accepted. I wasn't that bothered, to be honest.
My daughter sings, and we were watching Strictly the other night, and Rita Ora comes on, and she goes, "If you're going to mime properly." And it's like, so even the kids of today now, it's like they resent that if you're going to mime properly. And it makes me laugh that what the mindset of even the youngsters of today is really.
That's because all the other they have a big band and they all sing live, don't they?
Yeah, the big
and most of the acts that go on normally do sing live. So
I think she was singing to a track. I think she just had a track that had a little bit of voice under it, and
a lot of them do that. You put a 50% vocal in, and then you sing over the top, and it just supports it and makes it sound more rounded.
Harmonise with yourself.
It is a bit of that, but a lot of people are hung up on this, like gotta be live. But now all I ever do is do live, so I mean I'm not bothered. I'd love to do a bit of miming every now and then, thanks very much, because every weekend I'm singing live,
It's
I suppose it's quite a strain as well. I mean, especially when you're saying like you're doing these programs, you're talking and you're doing and then you're doing your live performances, so sometimes I'm guessing it's nice to be able to go, well, actually,
can you imagine if we could mime?
I can give it 50%.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Magic trick.
Yeah. Do you imagine just going up?
What was that for?
I reckon. No, we've got it on camera.
But back in the day when you were doing so much promotion, you were doing hundreds and hundreds of miles. You were talking and this and that, and you're drained of energy. When you sing, I have to do 30 minutes warm up, be really prepared. So it was almost like back then. It was like a pain in the arse to have to do live, and let's just mime, let's just get the promotion done. It's about people hearing your record and seeing you.
The next one. So you're doing Pebble Mill. So you're going, we've made it. We're on Pebble Mill.
Yeah.
Which is. Do you remember Pebble Mill?
Pebble Mill, yeah.
No, we used to have all the top. It's one of these. Obviously, we were at school. Yeah. But it's like...
It was the precursor to this morning, weren't it?
It's also how the parents got... Because parents are influencers, aren't they? So I think it was quite clever, really, because you'd have all the pop bands on, and the parents would be watching that, and then when the kids get home, they go, "Oh, have you heard that Brother Beyond?"
No, it had a lot of viewers, and we did Pebble Mill loads of times. Yeah. But to be honest, you said the words, "I've made it," when you did Top of the Pops.
Well,
that was always my dream. I can remember it now, watching Bauhaus on Top of the Pops, and saying to myself, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
No, wrong record.
Wrong record.
Wrong. Yeah, that's Bow Wow Wow.
Oh, it's Bow Wow Wow.
Who I did gigs with last summer.
Oh, I've just shot myself up.
You have. Total fail there. Total fail.
My word, Carl.
The Bauhaus is like Bela Lugosi's Dead and things like that. Anyway, so I remember sitting there as a kid going, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be on that. You know, that moment when you go, you're convinced you're going to do it. And when you finally make it happen and you're there, you're in this studio you've watched every week and dreamed about, and you go to yourself, it's tiny. It's only small. And those, you think 300 people are actually only 50 people, and there's 3 stages in this little studio, and they heard them in front of the camera, and then when you're finished performing, they herd them over to the other stage, because they're only 50 people, and it's the same 50 people they push around, and they put them around the camera to make it look busy, and you think, oh, blimey, I thought it was going to be more than this, but it's almost like a inverted TARDIS. Yeah. When you get in there, you realise, wow, on TV it looks so big, but in here it's so small. But you're still like, oh my God, it's magic to be here, you know, and it's like, you can't believe it. And someone put out our performance from He Ain't No Competition the other day on Twitter, and it reminded me of what happened, because the keyboard player Carl was dancing around like a crazy person, and the keyboard fell over during the shoot, and they were like, oh, we're going to have to do that again, so we had to do it twice, you know, and but yeah, it was great, and especially on that one, they said, oh, we want Nathan, because the song's called it was a performance of Be My Twin. They said, oh, Nathan, we want you to turn and face that way, like side onto the camera, because we're going to have you facing you again, like, you know, so at one point there's like so high tech, had my face turning in saying be my twin, you know. Anyway,
bit like ABBA.
Effects,
well,
crazy effects back then.
And so how many times did you do Top of the Pops? Was it a thing?
7 times. Wow. Like Christmas Top of the Pops.
I asked that knowing you would know. It's one of those, I would think it's one of those things you'd know how many times.
When it's important to you, and it was, you know, I mean, we did everything from the Christmas Top of the Pops to, you know, 2 or 3 times for The Harder I Try. You remember them, you know, and you go, all right, yeah, now I've done that now. I've got them on tape somewhere, but...
Were you a little bit after The Tube? Because I used to watch The Tube, do you remember that?
Yeah.
So Brother Beyond were a little bit after The Tube had finished, weren't they? Or
it was... The Tube had finished by then.
That was when we used to run home from school to watch.
Yeah, it was great, wasn't it? You know,
that was all. Well, again, that was all.
Paulie Yates was fantastic, wasn't she? Wow.
Well, anyway, I think we're going to do this in a 2-parter, aren't we?
I think so, because we've got loads more stories from Nathan, and I think we've got a few more questions.
I've got a few.
You've got a few?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to apologise.
Well, I think we should leave it there. I think you should tune in to see how upsetting Carl's going to be for the next episode.
I'm going to have another Red Bull.
Oh, God. Well, listen.
Please don't. Does it make you funnier?
Other energy drinks are available.
No, let's do a part 2, because I've got loads to tell you. I mean,
told me,
you know,
you're going to be kind.
He is kind. He's just he's rising to your level. That's all he's doing.
I think he's sinking to my level. Really. So, do you know what? This has been awesome.
It's amazing. Well, thank you for listening. Tune in next week. Tune in next time for part 2 of our interview in the kitchen with Nathan Moore. You can find us on all the social medias. You can find us on email, which will all be in the description, and you can follow and like Nathan on Instagram, Twitter. No. Are you not on Instagram? No.
I am Nathan Moore on Twitter.
I am Nathan Moore on Twitter.
And Facebook, I'm easy to find, and
he's my friend now.
Yeah.
He liked me this morning.
Did he?
He'll dislike me.
He'll be unliking you today. So tune in next time for more from Nathan Moore. We've been Confessions from the Backseat.
I've been Carl Royle.
I'm Andrew Dean, and
I'm Nathan Moore. Thanks for listening.